Anywhere, the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard Counties. This week, Crime Stoppers are seeking information to assist the Springfield Police Department reference a residential burglary that occurred in the 2000 block of East Brown Street in Springfield, Illinois on May 7th around 4:25 p.m. The suspects, who were thought to be juvenile males, made entry into the residence through a window. Once inside, the suspects took 4 firearms, a laptop, multiple watches, and an assortment of ammunition of various calibers. In total, the items stolen were valued at over $7,000. If photos become available, they will be posted on our website, cashfortips.us. If you have any information regarding this case, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427. Submit a tip on our website or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Unpunished crime. Do you wonder sometimes if you're next on a criminal's target list? It's hard to know the real answer, but it's easy to make sure that you and your family are more secure. Barcom Security protects by minimizing response times. When trouble strikes, you're backed up with a live person who takes your call 24 hours a day. Contact the Springfield office of Barcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Happy Tuesday morning. It's going to be a big week when it comes to litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. Already a lot of filings to go through from the state, from Cook County, from the city of Chicago, all in anticipation of Thursday's hearing that will be streamed on YouTube from the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the 7th District out of Chicago. So we'll walk you through how to access that when it does go live Thursday morning. But before we get there, we got to just get that background before before we review what's going to be happening Thursday. So, of course, Governor J.B. Pritzker enacted a gun and magazine ban on January 10th. It was passed by the previous legislature within the final hours of the legislature, the 102nd General Assembly in Illinois, right before the 103rd General Assembly goes into effect. That was on January 10th when the governor signed that at the Capitol. It bans over 170 different semi-automatic pistols, rifles, and shotguns. And it also includes a whole bunch of accoutrements from pistol grips to barrel sheaths to a whole host of things. It also bans the possession and sale of magazines over 15 rounds for handguns and over 10 rounds for rifles. It also creates a registry to require individuals who owned these now banned weapons to register those with Illinois State Police. They're going to open that registration window by law on October 1st, and then there's a deadline of January 1st to register your firearms with state police, or you could face criminal penalties. Now, this was challenged on the grounds of it violates the Second Amendment. You also have other challenges still out there concerning the Fifth Amendment rights of, not having to self-incriminate yourself by telling the government that you have a banned weapon. That particular challenge still on hold. They're just going after the Second Amendment issue. So you had lawsuits filed in federal courts and in state court. We're still waiting in state court for the outcome of Dan Calkins' case out of the Illinois Supreme Court and how that'll impact the cases that Attorney Thomas DeVore has. So that's state court. But in federal court, you had the plaintiffs all combined down in the Southern District of Illinois federal court, involving the Illinois State Rifle Association, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois, and also a case called Langley from Attorney Thomas Magg. All four of those consolidated in the Southern District. Now, while that was happening in the Northern District of Illinois, you had a challenge against Cook County and Chicago's gun ban and also against Illinois' gun ban. That case was heard and ultimately decided in favor of the state and local gun bans in the Northern District. In the Southern Districts out of East St. Louis, a judge there in that consolidated case issued a preliminary injunction against enforcement of the law, essentially saying the law was on hold while the case continued to progress. Well, the states went to the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago, asked for a stay of that preliminary injunction. That stay was approved, and then they eventually consolidated all these cases into the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals with an expedited briefing schedule, and the hearing is going to be on Thursday of this week out of the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals. So that's where we're at right now, right? Earlier this month, the state filed their initial filings in the appeals court. Then a few weeks later, last week, you had plaintiffs file their briefs. And essentially, the arguments boiled down to the state says these are dangerous weapons and they need to be regulated. It's much more sophisticated technology, making them more dangerous and lethal. They also say that criminals use these semi-automatic firearms, and the increase of mass shooting instances is the impetus the state uses to ban these things. The plaintiffs say, look at the U.S. Supreme Court ruling from a year ago in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, where the Supreme Court said that judges and courts have to review challenges to gun laws looking at the Second Amendment text, history, and tradition, and that you cannot ban commonly owned firearms. So plaintiffs essentially just put that argument back out there against the state with all of their what is called balancing of interest approach to finding the constitutionality of a law. So again, state filed their briefs earlier this month. The plaintiffs filed their reply briefs, and now we have another set of briefs from the states that will look at the docket here from the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals and make sure we got this queued up for you. And really, it's fascinating just how much has been put into the docket just yesterday. All right. So looking at this, you've got a whole bunch of filings and things that are being put to the court in anticipation of Thursday's hearing. And I do want to just highlight some of this. So yesterday you had the Cook County filing, you had the City of Chicago filing, and you had the State of Illinois filing. So looking at these filings, you've got the reply briefs, and just looking at the arguments in reply to what the plaintiff said. We'll go ahead and pull that up here. It says evidence of common possession does not satisfy Herrera's burden to show common use. Interesting. Evidence of common possession doesn't show common use. The state and governments, really, they also argue assault weapons, they say, are fundamentally incompatible with the limited doctrine of self-defense recognized at English common law and are thus outside the scope of the Second Amendment's protection, they argue. And again, these are just the distilled bullet points they're arguing in their initial filing here, right? In the first few pages as an overview. Gunpowder regulations, they say, demonstrate a long-standing tradition of regulating arms responsible for mass casualty events. Spring gun regulations demonstrate a long-standing tradition of regulating firearms incompatible with lawful self-defense. And Herrera was waived any arguments regarding the application of the nuanced approach to unprecedented social problems. So again, still kind of seeing some of that balance of interest, and whether or not the court's going to see that as a legitimate argument, we shall see. Here we've got the state in their reply to the case and their bullet points. They say assault weapons and high-capacity magazines are not in common use for self-defense, they argue. And I think, one of the pushback against that is who's to determine what's used for self-defense and who is to tell somebody what's used for self-defense. They go on to say, quote, assault weapons and high-capacity magazines are dangerous and unusual, and the city's ordinance is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. So that's another kind of table of contents from a brief, and then to the Caleb and Barnett plaintiffs from the Southern District. You've got the government's filing here that says plaintiffs failed to show that assault weapons and large-capacity magazines, LCMs, are protected under the plain text of the Second Amendment. They say large capacity magazines are not arms. They say plaintiffs bear the burden to show that assault weapons and large capacity magazines are in common use for self-defense today. They say assault weapons and LCMs are not in common use for self-defense. Very similar to what the Cook County and City of Chicago were arguing. They also say that in any event, the Act's restrictions on assault weapons and large capacity magazines are consistent with the country's tradition of firearms regulations. So again, you can see here where they're really distilling down their arguments, right? And that's just the table of contents. If you want to get into all of the really heady, the real fine points that they're arguing in their briefs, you're going to have to get copies of this. And I know the Firearms Policy Council or Coalition, FPC, they have these documents as well on their website. But you look back at the docket here, and it's not just the briefs that were filed by Cook County, by the City of Chicago, by the State of Illinois. You have amicus briefs being attempted to be filed here. Including, I saw here where it said like 22 states were going to be filing amicus briefs or attempting to. So you've got an attorney with the state of Idaho and 22 other states. They want to try to file an amicus brief. They also have amicus briefs from the Second Amendment Center, Gun Owners of California, California Rifle and Pistol Association, State Line Rifle Association, DeWitt County Sportsman's Club. So a lot of different attempts to file amicus briefs. And I'm curious because at first, one of the docket entries that announced the consolidation and also the timing of the briefs, it said that there would be no amicus entertained of sorts. But again, if you look at the docket, you can see here, state of Idaho, 22 other states. You've got Second Amendment Law Center, Gun Owners of America, California Rifle and Pistol Association, State Line Rifle Association, DeWitt County Sportsman's Club, Gun Owners of California, and so on. So, yeah, a lot of amicus briefs looking to be filed here in this case. Now, this is the last round of filings before we get to the hearing on Thursday. Stay tuned because I'm going to show you how you can access the live stream of the hearing Thursday, so you could sit there, get your popcorn, get your soda, and just take it all in. It's not going to be a video stream, it's just an audio stream, but that should be plenty. So I'll walk you through how you can access that here in just moments. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today, another warm one. After it was a pleasant afternoon, a little bit of sprinkles popping up here and there. But a high of 86 today. It's going to be a bit hazy at first, but the low down to 63, and then a chance of showers Wednesday with a high of 86. Chance of showers continues Wednesday night, the low of 70. Thursday, mostly sunny. The high of 94. Wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour. That'll help cut down on the heat a little, but not much. Chance of showers Friday, the high of 93. And then Saturday, a chance of showers and storms, the high of 86. Right now, 62 degrees at 622 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Act fast to get the best interest rates during the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus, get the most for your trade. Hurry in. These rates expire Monday. The Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or J.D. Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Don't miss the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus the exclusive Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Act fast because these rates expire on Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or J.D. Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
If you're a business owner, you probably have a lot of people who want to handle your digital business. Now, some of those people might be located in some other part of the country or beyond. At Midwest Family, it's a little different. We have all those digital resources they do. E-blast, geofencing, video production, you name it, including website upgrades and maintenance. But with us, the people spearheading the effort are right across the table from you in your office or at lunch or at the golf course. We also have a track record of success with some great businesses because the benefit of localness is accountability. And my clients will tell you that the results have been great. It's the main reason I'd rejoined this company not too long ago. Yeah, we sell lots of radio, and it's fun, and it works. But with a team of proven experts in the digital world, there isn't a problem we can't tackle with your help. My name is Dave Dennis. I'm an integrated marketing professional at Midwest Family. Just click MidwestFamilySPI.com. That's MidwestFamilySPI.com. And let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we say.
sell, we offer so much more. Big Bad Night, Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Knowledge is power, and you deserve to know what happens in your state government. That's why the Center Square's reporting zeroes in on state authorities publishing stories that show where your money goes and who spends it. The Center Square gives power to the taxpayer by tracking politicians' use of the people's money and demanding transparency from state-run agencies. This is how the Center Square equips you, the American taxpayer, to hold your state government accountable. Sign up now for your state's Center Square newsletter at thecentersquare.com.
At SimpliSafe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from SimpliSafe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install SimpliSafe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Head over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, which asks you your assessment after the aborted insurrection in Russia this past weekend. Putin's weaker now, Putin's stronger now, nothing's really changed. Most of you saying that Putin is weaker now, 72% of you. The rest is split between he's stronger or nothing's really changed. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll or on the WMAY mobile app.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, back at it to tell you how you can tune in to the 7th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals hearing Thursday on the challenge of Illinois' gun and magazine ban. Again, went through all the background last segment, overviewed some of the table of contents of the state, Cook, and Chicago governments' filings that were filed yesterday, a review of just some of the amicus briefs that are being filed as well. But let's tell you how you can get access to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals oral arguments. So just go to the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, all right, search U.S. Court of Appeals, 7th Circuit. You'll be able to find their official website, all right? It's ca7.uscourts.gov. The United States Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit. Now, under oral arguments, if you click on oral argument videos, you click there, and then you can see, opinions and oral argument audio recordings. But then you'll see oral argument streaming arguments on YouTube. Hey, it's new. So you click through that, and you'll notice something here. There's nothing on the homepage, all right? So this is the Court of Appeals 7th Circuit for the YouTube channel, all right? There's nothing on the home channel. Why? Because everything they do streams live. So you got to click over to the live feed. And here is where Thursday morning, 9:30 is when they're supposed to start. So I would recommend you get in there just so you can make sure you see it pop up. Refresh it several times just to see if it pops up. Refresh it, see if it's live. And then when it goes live, it should show up in this live category, not the home category. Should show up in the live category. So just a little tip for you if you want to tune in. And I know that a lot of people are interested in the actual oral arguments. When I was in the Southern District Court tweeting out the oral arguments, there wasn't a live stream or there wasn't a teleconference line. But when I was tweeting out all of the various points that I could at a rapid clip, I mean, those tweets were shared far and wide. So there's a lot of interest in the oral arguments. You'll be able to tune into those oral arguments through the U.S. 7th Circuit Court of Appeals via their YouTube channel. And again, just to walk through how to get there, it's pretty simple. You just got to search U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals 7th District. And when you get there to their official website, underneath oral arguments, you'll see oral argument videos, and then from there you click on where it says YouTube channel, and it'll take you to their YouTube channel, and you click on live. That's where you'll find the live stream when it goes live. All right. So I talked to the clerk's office yesterday to ask about rebroadcasting this. I didn't get any clear answers. And I looked through some of the rules that there were, at least that I could glean in a cursory review, and I couldn't see what the rebroadcast rules are. So I'm going to try to get more clarity on that because I'd love to be able to bring you audio highlights Friday morning as to what some of the arguments were. If I can't directly share the audio clips, then I will definitely work to just kind of encapsulate and distill down all of the arguments that there were in our Friday morning review. So a lot to come this week when it comes to litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope I'm helping at least keep this all sorted for you. But again, this is the federal case. This has nothing to do with the state case that's still pending in the Illinois Supreme Court, that case from State's Representative Dan Calkins. So, hey, follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air. Twitter's a great way to get the latest updates. You can also find me on Facebook. Don't forget about the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, whatever it is. Just make sure you're plugged in, and we'll keep you posted on everything in real time on those social media channels. All right, Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Now, 6:32, let's take a look at some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, the number of different e-cigarette devices sold in the U.S. has nearly tripled to over 9,000, despite its 3-year effort by the Food and Drug Administration to crack down on kid-friendly flavors. The rise in electronic cigarettes has been almost entirely driven by a wave of cheap, disposable devices imported from China, mostly sold in fruit and candy flavors. All are technically illegal, but they continue to flow into U.S. ports with little threat of retaliation. A group of Springfield churches met Sunday night to discuss hateful and harmful rhetoric directed toward the LGBTQ community. 7 churches took part, including First Presbyterian Church downtown, which hosted the event. Attendees noted recent unsubstantiated claims by a local pastor alleging that a transgender woman had exposed herself to a child in a locker room in Springfield, and a column by Catholic Bishop Thomas John Paprocki in which he appeared to defend laws in Uganda criminalizing homosexual acts in that country. The Illinois Supreme Court justice, who made history with her appointment to the state's highest court last year, is now running for a full term. Justice Lisa Holder White became the court's first black female justice when she was sworn in last July. Holder White's appointment runs through late 2024, so she will run next year as a Republican for a full 10-year term in the court's 4th district. She and her husband live in Sangamon County. High-speed rail has come to Illinois. Monday marked the start of the regular 110-mile-per-hour Amtrak service between Chicago and St. Louis. Governor J.B. Pritzker marked the occasion with an event in Chicago in which he said the $2 billion multi-year project to revamp the rail corridor will mean shorter travel times, along with greater safety and reliability. The passenger trains will run at 110 miles an hour along 80% of the route through the state, but will move more slowly through metro areas like Springfield. The emotional support line, set up by Memorial Behavioral Health to help people cope during the COVID pandemic, will end July 1st. Since its inception in March of 2020, the service has taken more than 4,000 calls from people who were then connected to counselors from Memorial. Memorial says there are other ways to access help, including the National 988 hotline. In addition, the mobile crisis line for Sangamon and surrounding counties is available 24/7 at 217-788-7070. Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has new solar arrays that officials say will save money and be more environmentally friendly. More than half the $6 million cost will be covered by solar renewable energy credits from the state of Illinois, as well as a power purchase agreement with Balance Solar, which helped to finance the project. The solar panels will reduce utility bills at the airport by $350,000 annually and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 8 million vehicle miles. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hello, everybody. Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving. Your Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Thanks for that. Is your driveway a sloppy, muddy mess? Are you tired of getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe you're sick of all the sloppy mud in the car and in the house. Or maybe you don't want all the garbage rock in your lawn. Well, if so, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Hi, it's Ed Lex with Edward Jones. Listen to the Business Spotlight with Edward Jones this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Join us for the Memorial Health Championship presented by LRS at Panther Creek Country Club, June 29th through July 2nd. Watch the future stars of the PGA Tour compete for the winner's share of the $1 million purse. Saturday, July 1st is Family Fun Day, presented by SIU School of Medicine. Don't miss the great activity area just for kids. Tickets free, parking free, shuttles free. There's no excuse to miss out on the only professional golf in downstate Illinois. Request your tickets at memorialhealthchampionship.com.
Looking to buy your next home or considering listing? My wife and I recommend choosing RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister. Working with Fritz to find our new home in Sangamon County was truly a wonderful experience. He's prompt, responsive, and we had constant communication. He was committed to serving our needs and made our home buying experience an absolute pleasure. RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister, 217-652-7653. 217-652-7653. Buying or selling a home? Fritz makes it easy.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. Trying to rack up your intercontinental travel quickly? You can save time and often money by visiting 2 continents at the same time. First, there's Turkey's largest city, Istanbul, which sits right between Europe and Asia. If you're looking to get off the beaten path, escape the usual highlights of Cairo and explore the stretch of the Suez Canal and its namesake city, Suez, situated across mainland Egypt and the Sinai Peninsula, placing it in both the Middle East and Africa. Or you can seek more affordable experiences in western Kazakhstan's largest cities, which blends Central Asian and Russian cultures. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, designed for curious travelers. Viking offers all-inclusive voyages on all 7 continents, with no children and no casinos on board. Learn more at Viking.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Illinois taxpayers on the hook for the health care of undocumented migrants in the state of Illinois, and it looks like the state's taxpayers going to be covering that cost to the tune of up to $550 million for the coming fiscal year. That's after a projected cost of more than $1.1 billion. But the governor having some cost control measures that the legislature gave him, he's essentially slashing that in half. And he's getting some criticism from advocates pushing for even more health care for undocumented migrants in the state of Illinois. Welcome back. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Yesterday, I shared with you a conversation I had with Healthy Illinois campaign, and they talked about the governor's move to essentially say that they need to limit the amount of costs for the migrant health care. The governor announcing that he was essentially going to freeze the program for those between the age of 42 and 64. And you had the Healthy Illinois campaign push back against this. Tovia Siegel, she's one of the organizers, said that grassroots groups are protesting and they're demanding that the governor reissue his decision, reverse his decision to freeze the program for non-citizens between the age of 42 and 64.
Ultimately, we do want all ages, regardless of immigration status, to be covered. These are low-income immigrants.
And that was, an idea that was prompted saying that she wants more of a universal health care of sorts. So the activists and the migrant groups pushing back against the governor, he responded to that yesterday at an unrelated news conference of a couple of different facets. Here's the governor talking in particular in response directly to those who were pushing back against his idea of freezing the taxpayer subsidies for part of the program to subsidize undocumented migrants' health care to the tune of $550 million. Here's the governor from yesterday talking with reporters up in Chicago.
Look, we've all worked together to make sure, and we're talking about the Congress people as well as our members of the General Assembly and everybody who cares about this program to provide health care, to provide this program for 63,000 people in the state of Illinois. And we're continuing to do that. In fact, there's room for a few more within the program and within the budget. Remember that the General Assembly provided $550 million for this program for FY24. That's about $300 million more than we had originally proposed in our budget. That's a good thing, and we need to make sure that we're living within our fiscal limits within the state of Illinois. That's something that wasn't done for a lot of years in Illinois, and now here in 2023 and going into our fiscal year 2024, balancing the budget and making sure that we're paying our bills and expanding and providing undocumented immigrants with health care that's like Medicaid is an important thing for us to continue to do.
So again, Governor J.B. Pritzker doubling down on his desire to increase the program and to ultimately pay for the health care costs, make taxpayers pay for the health care costs of undocumented migrants in the state of Illinois. But he talked about why it's important. Why do this, especially with even pushback from Republicans saying that the overall idea is wrong and there's other priorities the state needs to focus on. The governor, he doubled down and talked about why he's looking to continue doing this. He even uses the term universal health care.
Sure. I think we all understand that if people can get preventative care, that keeps us from spending more money later on, and of course keeps people healthy. And that's my goal. And that's the goal of the Latino caucuses and of the broader community of advocates. Always, when we talk about universal health care, which is something I believe in, that we talk about wanting to do that, but of course we have to do it within the limits of our revenues and making sure that we're balancing the budget. And so this year, as we've now expanded this program through 63,000 people and more that are signing up even now, we're providing that kind of basic health care, right? There's a free doctor visit, there's free pharmaceuticals when people are prescribed prescription drugs, and those are things that will prevent worse health effects that may come from not having that kind of coverage. So we're pleased at the kind of coverage that we're going to be able to provide. Again, we're trying to put it in a Medicaid type framework, which it was not in before, and believe that preventative health care is the best way to go about it. I wish we could provide health care literally for everybody in this country, and we ought to be able to do that. But we need to work toward it ratably every year, as I have as governor of the state of Illinois.
So interesting to hear that again coming from the governor about universal health care. How would that be paid for? I was talking with somebody even just earlier this morning, Mark Cox out of 97.1 in St. Louis. He was talking about the story with me, and he asked the question, if we get to universal health care, how is that going to impact overall budgets? Because think about it. I mean, you're likely paying a private health insurer to give you quality health insurance, and your employer is likely helping provide that. Even state employees have private health insurance that's paid for by the state and by the employees contributing to their health insurance. But when it comes to the Medicaid type programs for undocumented migrants in Illinois, those are all tax dollars. Yes, there will be some kind of copay starting July 1st for certain things, up to $250 for a copay. I believe that's for like hospitalization. But ultimately, the overall costs are going to be paid for by the Illinois taxpayers. And those Illinois taxpayers are not going to get any assistance from federal tax dollars. So that's just the undocumented migrant portion, let alone how much overall Medicaid in Illinois costs, which is billions and billions on top of the $550 million cost for undocumented migrants. So doing universal health care, would that just do away with completely of the option of having private insurance? And what would that do to the quality overall of healthcare in the United States, let alone in Illinois? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and it's interesting to see now the trajectory that this migrant healthcare program seems to be facilitating, and that is what the governor said and what even the advocates are saying. They want universal healthcare. Fully taxpayer subsidized healthcare? What would that do to the marketplace? What would that do to the quality of healthcare in this country? I think it's an important question that we should and must postulate moving forward as we see the continued cost of this particular program. It is now I wish it was 8:49. I'd be almost done with the show. Hey, almost done with work. No, it's only 6:49. So we've got a ton more to get to, including we'll touch base with William Kelly out of Chicago. He's got an on-the-street reports where he went up to some migrants to ask them about a potential law allowing for DACA recipients to become police officers. So we'll review that with him. But I also want to talk with him about the NASCAR race that's going to be happening in the streets of Chicago next week. So it'll be interesting to talk with him about the preparations for that. But also, President Biden's going to be in Chicago on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. We'll hear a little bit about that. After 7:30 this morning, I'm going to connect with Dan Eldridge from Max and Shooters to really get the latest in what's going on with litigation against the gun and magazine ban. But also, he's got an event coming up that is allowing people to talk with the legal team. So it'll be an interesting networking event there. Then still to come, I've got a conversation I had with two officials from S&P Global Ratings, and they have a new report out about Illinois' pension woes and how it's going to continue to impact the state budget. Not just state budget, but also local government budgets. High-speed rail, it's starting on the Lincoln service line yesterday, 110 miles an hour. We may touch on that as well. I'm telling you, we got tons more to get to. It's only Tuesday, but stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on all of that and more here with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today it's going to be warm. We're talking a high of 86 with mostly sunny skies, the low down to 63. Got a chance of showers Wednesday with a high of around 86. Hopefully those showers happen because Wednesday night got a chance of showers as well, the low of 70. Mostly sunny Thursday, it's going to be hot, 94 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then Friday, a chance of showers with a high of 93. Saturday, chance of showers, the high of 86. Right now, 62 degrees at 6:51 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59.95 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Hendricks Home Furnishings grand reopening kicks off with an open house Saturday, July 1st. I'm Jennifer Hendricks. Come celebrate with giveaways and complimentary lunch. Register to win a Lazy Boy sofa, 2 separate Lazy Boy recliners, gift certificates, and cash prizes. See factory authorized discounts from brands like Craftmaster, Southern Motion, Canadell, and more to update your home. Come by July 1st for food giveaways and big time savings. Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4, Vernon.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go, keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
Rex with the double X battery. Generations of power.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local. Fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
Hey, it's me, Ruthie, from Total Wine & More. You know how stores have been raising their prices lately? Well, lean into your speaker a little closer because I've got a big secret to share. Total Wine is actually lowering our prices on hundreds of wines. I know, right? And even better, our new lower prices on hundreds of wines are here to stay. But listen, don't thank me. At Total Wine, we love helping our customers save big. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, tomorrow we got the council roundup in the 7 o'clock hour, and just to kind of do a little bit of an overview of what to expect, looking at the City of Springfield Committee of the Whole agenda. So, what do we got? Ordinances tabled or remaining in committee. We got 6 different ordinances. It's actually pretty clean from what I've seen before in the past. I've seen like 5 pages of measures remaining or tabled, and those things could possibly be brought back out. Who knows? Maybe we'll see something about the disclosure of all city officials for transparency, or maybe we'll see something about the measure that allows for a tenant or a landlord registry. So we'll see if that ever comes back up. So that was brought by Alderman Roy Williams Jr., but also former Mayor Jim Langfelder. But there's a new mayor in town, so. But they've got a whole host of ordinances, about 5 other pages dealing with city water, light, and power, public works, general city business. So they have a lot to tackle tomorrow. Then they'll also, of course, possibly do, citizens requesting access to the council and then adjournment. It could be a busy city council meeting. Now, some of these, of course, they might just say, motion to for consent. So they put all the non-controversial ordinances on the consent agenda. But they likely will be debating a lot of these. So Wednesdays, we bring you the council roundup here, so you know what's going on with Springfield city government. It's right here live and local each and every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So looking forward to that, but just wanted to do a brief overview of the Springfield City Council Committee of the Whole agenda. And that, again, is going to be tomorrow. Coming up next, we'll connect with William Kelly out of Chicago to talk with him about his reporting on the street. But also, I want to hear his understanding of what's going on with the NASCAR race this weekend. There's apparently going to be a block party that Bubba Wallace is hosting on the south side of Chicago at a museum. You've got the street race that's blocking off a whole bunch of streets, and they're going to be driving at high speeds, and even some people questioning what's the air quality going to be like for the city of Chicago with all of these race cars sprinting around. So that's coming up rather rapidly. I remember when it was announced by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot in NASCAR, I was like, this is really going to happen? But yeah, it's apparently on its way, so we may touch base with William on that. It's 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. Former President Trump's aide, Walt Nauta, will appear before a Florida judge today. It's his turn to face arraignment in the classified documents case. As for his boss, ABC News has obtained an audio recording of him appearing to acknowledge that he held on to a sensitive military document after leaving the White House.
It is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this.
Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
After news broke that prosecutors were in possession of the recording, Trump claimed to Fox News that he was not referring to an actual document.
I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories.
Trump says he had personal items mixed in with the documents, which is why he says he did not comply with a subpoena to return them. Reacting to the audio recording last night, Trump's campaign said the audio tape provides context proving once again that President Trump did nothing wrong at all. The president is speaking rhetorically.
Khan Nowadaye is a former federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York and an ABC News legal contributor. He says, as evidence,
it's devastating. It's his own words. He is recognizing that he has classified information. He is recognizing that he is showing it to people he shouldn't be showing it to.
Russian authorities say they've closed a criminal investigation into the armed rebellion led by Wagner Group chief Yevgeny Prigozhin. Russia's Federal Security Service says those involved ceased activities, so they will not be pursued. Air travel still rough for some stranded at airports because of the residual effects of bad weather.
Been wearing the same clothes for 2.5 days now. So not fun.
Greg Morris trying to fly from Atlanta to Albany, but hit with cancellations over multiple days. This is ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Oh, we got a conversation with William J. Kelly next to tackle what's going on in Chicago. He interviewed some of the migrants that were on the streets about a proposed law that would allow for DACA recipients to become police officers in Illinois. But we'll also talk with him about what he knows of the street race from NASCAR and how that's going to butt up against a hot weekend. So stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up. Also, we'll talk in the latter half of this hour with Dan Eldridge from Maxon Shooter Supply out of Des Plaines. He's got an event coming up at allowing people to network with their attorneys to talk about the latest in the ongoing litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban. So that's just some of what's coming up here with this hour on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. It's now 7:04.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Federal funding has been reduced to help low-income households pay their utility bills. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program will not offer summer assistance this year. When registration opens in October, it will be available only to certain categories of low-income households, like those with persons over 60 or under 6, or a person with disabilities. Others may apply beginning in November until the funding runs out. The Illinois Supreme Court justice, who made history with her appointment to the state's highest court last year, is now running for a full term. Justice Lisa Holder White became the court's first black female justice when she was sworn in last July. Holder White's appointment runs through late 2024, so she will run next year as a Republican for a full 10-year term in the court's 4th district. She and her husband live in Sangamon County. Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has new solar arrays that officials say will save money and be more environmentally friendly. More than half the $6 million cost will be covered by solar renewable energy credits from the state of Illinois as well as a power purchase agreement with Balance Solar, which helped to finance the project. The solar panels will reduce utility bills at the airport by $350,000 annually and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 8 million vehicle miles. The emotional support line, set up by Memorial Behavioral Health to help people cope during the COVID pandemic, will end July 1st. Since its inception in March of 2020, the service has taken more than 4,000 calls from people who were then connected to counselors from Memorial. Memorial says there are other ways to access help, including the National 988 hotline. In addition, the mobile crisis line for Sangamon and surrounding counties is available 24/7 at 217-788-7070. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine, except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
You are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf.
4.
Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card.
7. Oh, bingo!
Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool doodle up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hello, everybody. It's Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving. And we want to thank you for voting us #1 Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Now, is that driveway of yours a sloppy, muddy mess? Is your driveway becoming a nuisance? Are you getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe your driveway is soft and it's unfunctional. Well, call the day and get on the schedule to get your driveway back to looking good, and you'll feel great about it. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
The shortest distance between you and a Head West sub is store kiosks.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Become police officers? How do you feel about that?
No.
Where are you from?
I speak English.
Governor Pritzker of Illinois is about to sign a new bill allowing migrants to become police officers. How do you feel about that?
Sorry, no, I speak English.
Where are you from?
Seattle.
Do you speak English? Hello. How are you guys doing?
That's a video of William J. Kelly out of Chicago going up to a variety of people on the streets of Chicago to talk about a bill that's on the governor's desk to ultimately allow for DACA recipients to get access to become a police officer. Welcome back. It is Springfield's Morning News, and William J. Kelly taken to the streets to talk with migrants about how DACA recipients could possibly become police officers, and he ran into some not too friendly voices from time to time. Doesn't want camera pointed at him, but he goes up to others asking them if they... Go check the entire video out, all right? It's rather fascinating. And the guy behind the microphone there joins us now here on WMAY, William J. Kelly. You can find him on Twitter, William J. Kelly, or on his website as well. William, thanks for taking time this morning. Let's get right on into it. What did you find out on the streets?
God bless you, Greg. Thank you. Well, you know, there's a very, very big difference and a very big double standard between what I hear from migrants on the street and what I hear from actual citizens, voters, police officers, night and day. Their feeling is that they are being attacked and defunded. And Governor Pritzker, for whatever reason, and there's a lot of speculation I could share with you, but for whatever reason, seems to want to fund non-citizen police officers.
And, of course, this bill is on the governor's desk, and he could be acting on it soon. There's like 465 bills on the governor's desk, a range of different issues. But we'll be watching closely to see when this thing ultimately comes to fruition and how it comports with federal law. Your understanding of that kind of dynamic, that juxtaposition, is this something that's going to violate federal law?
Well, as you know, Greg, what we're told from one day to the next apparently can change. I remember being told that we needed 2 weeks to flatten a curve. And then next thing I knew, the entire state was shut down, schools, churches, businesses, and children were driven to suicide. So what Governor Pritzker says and what he does tends to be two different things, especially when he can say that there's an emergency that needs to be override the Constitution or the checks and balances of the legislature, et cetera. Although, I mean, as I'm sure, as you know better than anybody, we have a one-party rule in the state of Illinois, a supermajority in the House and the Senate. This bill to make non-citizens police officers with arrest power over citizens, it has already passed the House and Senate. I know you already said that, but I have to repeat it because people don't believe it. It's too shocking to them, And so will Pritzker sign this bill? Well, I don't know. Ask yourself, was Pritzker willing to shut down the entire state of Illinois and force healthy, productive people to stay home from their schools, churches, and businesses? Yeah. I think promoting non-citizen police officers is exactly what Pritzker is all about.
Well,
and
keep in mind, too, I mean, former Governor Rauner signed a measure that essentially said local law enforcement can't enforce immigration detainers if that's the sole reason for approaching somebody. Governor Pritzker expanded that with further legislation. And that, those are federal immigration detainer orders that are federal law, and immigration is under the federal auspice of regulation. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how this idea is going to comport with the issue of complying with federal law. William, again, I want to share with people just a little snippet of the man on the street you did yesterday or this week, asking migrants. So tune into this, and you can find the entire 3-minute video at William J. Kelly on Twitter.
I speak English. Español.
Governor Pritzker of Illinois is about to sign a new bill allowing migrants to become police officers. How do you feel about that?
Sorry, no, I speak English.
Where are you from?
Seattle.
Do you speak English? Hello.
I thought it was interesting that you spoke to some migrants and you found some guy from Seattle who obviously speaks English. William, obviously you went to one location where migrants are being housed at a luxurious hotel. There's news of more migrant housing shelters that are going to be opened up. Give us the latest lay on the land. How many migrants have come to the Chicago area from the southern border?
Well, the number, this is part of the problem, Greg. Numbers don't seem to mean anything to our current political leaders, whether it's the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois. One day it's one number, the next day you find out that number has tripled. Whether it's the number of migrants or the millions of dollars that are being spent. This is an out of control problem. Okay, let's just put it that way. What is it's kind of like how much water is on the deck of the Titanic. Let's put it this way: out of control. Okay, so it hurts as not only a reporter, but as somebody who was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, somebody who loves Chicago. And I have to repeat that because I don't ever want to sound like I don't ever want anyone to think that this is somehow bashing Chicago. I love Chicago with all of my heart. I remember being proud of Chicago, beaming with pride about Chicago, the way, Bostonians beam with pride about Boston, for example. The problem is Chicago can't fake it anymore. The areas of Chicago, the Magnificent Mile, the tourist areas of the city, have been overrun, and they're not safe. Last night in Lakeview, you had one of what they call a street takeover of hundreds of people. If you've ever been in the middle of something like that, either as a reporter or just as a pedestrian or a motorist, you realize that you are just literally one honk of the horn away from having your car flipped over or torched. It really is. And I don't know, who do you call when something like that happens? Do you call the police? Well, I'm getting people telling me now that if they give migrants guns and badges, they're just going to have to take the law into their own hands. They're not going to call the police because that would only make it worse. This is what I'm hearing from, get this, black and brown citizens of Chicago. This is not what I'm hearing from, these elusive, MAGA, people in Chicago. No, this is what I'm hearing from black and brown citizens of Chicago. The next time they've got an emergency, they're not going to call the police and have a couple of Venezuelans showing up with guns and badges. No. They're going to handle it themselves.
William J. Kelly with us. Of course, we don't want to condone vigilantism
or
anything along those lines, but the reality on the street there, people are going to have to contend with. And something else people are going to have to contend with, it's not just the influx of migrants from the southern border. Chicagoans also dealing with NASCAR. They've got the street race coming up in just a handful of days here. Chicago Street Race Weekend, July 1st and the 2nd. What are you hearing, and how's this looking on the streets?
Well, for the downtown residents that, once again, growing up on the South Side, the idea of going downtown was almost an impossible dream. I didn't even know whether or not it would ever be possible for me to get from the South Side of Chicago to downtown Chicago. Now that I live downtown, I'm really, it really is a little bit of an impossible dream nightmare, because between the migrants and the street closures, it has become almost impossible to even navigate downtown Chicago. And it just makes me, what I'm hearing again from regular citizens, as I do my man on the street, is it just seems like absolutely nothing that our quote unquote leaders, political leaders, business and community leaders, absolutely nothing that they do is designed to make the lives of the citizens better. It's only designed to make the lives of migrants or some other entity better, but not the citizens. And I studied political science right alongside journalism at Loyola University and that was my ticket out of the South Side to get downtown and to the town that I love. And my understanding of service is that the whole point of anything that you do, whether it's in politics or media, is to provide a service to other people, right? and so it is just a double, a nightmare, impossible dream turned impossible nightmare, that nothing that our mayor or our governor or any of our other business or community or political leaders seem to be doing is providing any service for the actual tax-paying citizens of our city and our state.
William, you've got the migrant issue, you've got NASCAR, and you also have President Joe Biden visiting Wednesday. And what do you think how do you think the message of the economy is going to be received by Chicagoans there?
Well, as I'm sure you do too, I get business leaders calling me, and they're frantic. They are closing. They're closing businesses. They're talking to me about moving their businesses. The occupancy rate, or I should say the lack of occupancy rate in downtown Chicago is mind-boggling. Absolutely nothing coming out of our city, state, or national or federal government is improving that. Once again, everything that all of the policies that are being put forward, all the rhetoric that's being put forth, is actually discouraging our citizens. When you look at, when you think back even just a few years to downtown Chicago, you saw people, bustling to work in a suit and a tie, with a steely looking glance in their eye, but they had a dream they were trying to they were striving towards. You don't see that now, okay? And it is just palpable, Greg, and it's heartbreaking.
William J. Kelly. Find him at William J. Kelly on Twitter, and you can see his On the Streets reports. Greatly appreciate your time, as always, and we'll talk again soon, all right?
God bless you. Thank you, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Coming back, we'll hear Governor J.B. Pritzker's take on President Joe Biden set to visit Chicago, so stay tuned. We'll touch on that and also revisit what Congressman Darren LaHood said about the president's visit to Chicago. So that's on the way. Right now, though, it's 7:24, late for a break from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Don't miss the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Get 3.9% financing for 72 months on 2018 and newer vehicles. Plus the exclusive Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Act fast because these rates expire on Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership. Hurry into the Landmark Automotive Group's 96-hour interest relief flash sale. Shop a huge selection of 2018 and newer vehicles with 3.9% financing for 72 months. Backed with that Landmark for a lifetime warranty. Offer expires Monday. Only at Landmark Automotive Group on Prairie Crossing Drive.
You always do better at Landmark.
Max amount finance $40,000. Must finance 100% or less of MSRP or JD Power and Associates retail with approved credit. Must qualify for Heartland Credit Union membership.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434. 800-990-3434.
Now, you know, when it came to my KFC meal, I had to put some thought into it.
KFC, may I take your order?
So I started off with a warm and toasted brioche bun. Word of advice, do not sleep on brioche buns. They're French and they're fire. Now, for the star of the show, have you ever seen such a beautiful chicken sandwich? You gotta make mine spicy. Add a side of mac and cheese, secret recipe fries, ranch, and an ice-cold lemonade. And there you have it. Check out the new Jack Harlow meal at KFC.
Order ahead or on the KFC app today. Prices and participation may vary.
All right, head over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, which asks you about your assessment after the aborted insurrection in Russia this past weekend. Vladimir Putin is weaker, he's stronger, or nothing's really changed. And most of you this morning saying that Putin is weaker now. To the tune of around 61% of you. About a third of you, though, say nothing's really changed. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll or on the WMAY mobile app.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Talking with William J. Kelly last segment about all the things coming to Chicago, from migrants to NASCAR and even President Joe Biden. He will be in Chicago on Wednesday for an official speech about the economy, but he'll also be there at a fundraiser. Governor J.B. Pritzker playing a role in that fundraiser. He was asked about the visit from Biden during an unrelated event yesterday.
Only that we're excited to have him come to town, and of course we'll have a very successful fundraiser for him with a ton of support. I mean, he is well liked in Illinois and in Chicago, and there are lots of folks who are stepping forward to help his reelection campaign.
So Governor Pritzker saying that Biden is well liked in Illinois and in Chicago. But when I talked with Congressman Darren LaHood yesterday, he shared some of his thoughts on the speech that Biden plans to give about the economy, what the White House called Bidenomics. And the White House talked about, hey, inflation's lower than it has been, and that needs to be told to the American people. So Biden's going to use that speech Wednesday to highlight that. But Congressman LaHood, he said he wants to see instead focus on lower taxes and lower government spending, and also energy independence.
I think for one thing, you got to look at how do we get back to energy independence in this country, where we're producing our own energy. So much of our inflationary problems as it relates to businesses and manufacturing and companies and individuals is energy independence, getting back to that. So we're not relying on our foreign adversaries. That the spike in energy has, because of the Ukraine conflict and not producing domestic amounts of energy, I think contributed to that. That's number one. Number two, I think also looking at the tax policies that we have in this country, the way we've been spending money. We're $32 trillion in debt. It's part of the reason why I didn't vote for the debt ceiling raising, is because of those policies. So I think it's focusing on spending and reducing that. And then secondly, it's getting back to energy independence. That's what we ought to be focused on.
But LaHood also talked about the unanswered questions that the Biden family has to answer when it comes to that series of whistleblowers that are coming out saying that, listen, Hunter Biden was sitting right next to his father demanding money from Chinese oligarchs. Here's what LaHood said the Biden administration and Biden himself has to answer on behalf of his family.
They didn't allow the IRS agents and other investigatory bodies to look into Hunter Biden. And it's revealing on the direct connection between Hunter Biden and his dad. Secondly, Hunter Biden with Chinese entities, Romanian entities, Ukrainian entities.
So a lot of things going on up in Chicago. And, of course, we'll do what we can to unpack what the president had to say in his visit Wednesday. We'll do that Thursday morning. It is Springfield's Morning News. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. All right, got to take a break. Coming back, we'll talk with Dan Eldridge from Maxon Shooters Sports about what's going on with the litigation against Illinois' gun ban and an event he's got coming up. So stay tuned. Right now, though, it's 7:33, and here's a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story, high-speed rail has come to Illinois. Monday marked the start of regular 110-mile-per-hour Amtrak service between Chicago and St. Louis. Governor J.B. Pritzker marked the occasion with an event in Chicago in which he said the $2 billion multi-year project to revamp the rail corridor will mean shorter travel times along with greater safety and reliability. The passenger trains will run at 110 miles an hour along 80% of the route through the state, but will move more slowly through metro areas like Springfield. Federal funding has been reduced to help low-income households pay their utility bills. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program will not offer summer assistance this year. When registration reopens in October, it will be available only to certain categories of low-income households, like those with persons over 60 or under 6, or a person with disabilities. Others may apply beginning in November until the funding runs out. The Illinois Supreme Court justice who made history with her appointment to the state's highest court last year is now running for a full term. Justice Lisa Holder White became the court's first black female justice when she was sworn in last July. Holder White's appointment runs through late 2024, so she will run next year as a Republican for a full 10-year term in the court's 4th district. She and her husband live in Sangamon County. Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has new solar arrays that officials say will save money and be more environmentally friendly. More than half the $6 million cost will be covered by solar renewable energy credits from the state of Illinois, as well as a power purchase agreement with Balance Solar, which helped to finance the project. The solar panels will reduce utility bills at the airport by $350,000 annually and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 8 million vehicle miles. The emotional support line, set up by Memorial Behavioral Health to help people cope during the COVID pandemic, will end July 1st. Since its inception in March of 2020, the service has taken more than 4,000 calls from people who were then connected to counselors from Memorial. Memorial says there are other ways to access help, including the National 988 hotline. In addition, the mobile crisis line for Sangamon and surrounding counties is available 24/7 at 217-788-7070. A group of Springfield churches met Sunday night to discuss hateful and harmful rhetoric directed toward the LGBTQ community. 7 churches took part, including First Presbyterian Church downtown, which hosted the event. Attendees noted recent unsubstantiated claims by a local pastor alleging that a transgender woman had exposed herself to a child in a locker room in Springfield, and a column by Catholic Bishop Thomas John Paprocki in which he appeared to defend laws in Uganda criminalizing homosexual acts in that country. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
WMAY News, brought to you by The Inn at 835. Let The Inn at 835 handle your next business or social gathering with style.
What are you hungry for?
Obed and Isaac sounds good.
They're always busy.
Yeah, they are. It's because the food is great. The selection of craft beer is amazing, and it's downtown. It couldn't be in a better location.
What if we have to wait?
We'll put in our name, give them our number to text us when our table is ready, and then go next door to the 7th Street Cidery and start there.
I like the way you think. They serve meads too, right?
Yeah, they do. You can get your mead, and I'll start with a flight of cider. They're constantly getting new ciders on tap all the time.
What if Obed's isn't busy and they seat us right away?
The cidery doesn't close till 11, so we can just finish the night there.
You've got this all figured out, don't you?
Yeah, I do. You should see my reward points that I've built up.
So, you're buying, right?
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
No, you didn't.
Obed and Isaac's Microbrewery, located in downtown Springfield, right next door to the 7th Street Cidery. Enjoy.
Save big money in your summer projects with 11% off everything. Larson storm doors are perfect to let the sun shine in and enjoy the fresh summer air. The Lakeview Split View storm door includes Larson's retractable screen away feature, which converts your door from a storm door to a screen door without the hassle. It's $299.99 after 11% rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Do-it-yourself ordering kiosks now inside Head West mean getting your sub faster.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today.
Yeah! To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi, it's Ed Lex with Edward Jones. Listen to the Business Spotlight with Edward Jones this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Everywhere you are, everywhere you live, with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
With the arrival of warmer weather, it's time to ask yourself a question you probably don't want to think about. And that question is it time to think about a new HVAC system? Air conditioners are typically designed to last around 15 to 20 years, maybe less if you haven't kept up on your maintenance the way you should. Regularly changing the filters and getting those annual tune-ups and things. But even if you have, at 15 to 20 years, it really is time to think about whether you need to replace that unit. A call to MB Heating and Cooling is the place to start. They'll come out, do a full assessment, let you know what shape your device is in. Let's face it, if it's near the end of its life, you're going to have more frequent breakdowns. That's going to cost you a lot more money in the long run. A new energy-efficient system with lots of life ahead of it could very well be the best way to go. So contact MB Heating and Cooling. Call 217-544-HEAT, 217-544-4328, or go to their website at mb-heating.com.
Hey, just want to take a minute to tell you about BLH Computers because they are the place to take that laptop, maybe even that desktop, when it starts to slow down because it's slowing you down and you want to get back up to speed as quickly as possible. I don't have the exact count, but I think it's safe to say that BLH Computers has repaired well over tens of thousands of computers. Heck, it might be even the millions by now. But when you purchase a computer over at BLH Computers, you get something that you're not going to be getting at that big box store, and that is the exclusive BLH guarantee, which means all repairs are free, no labor charges, all the in-stock parts are free, and because BLH Computers is the largest electronics recycler in the region, they pretty much always have those parts that you need in stock. Don't forget to take those old electronics that have just been sitting around the house for a very long time. You can take them into BLH Computers for safe recycling. So all those small repairs that you've been putting off for maybe many months, you can take it over to the fine folks at BLH Computers that can help you out. Locations in Springfield, Jacksonville, also in Taylorville. Like and follow them on Facebook, and you can get all the details online, blhcomputers.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Earlier this morning, we went through the latest in the litigation against Illinois' gun and magazine ban, and the Thursday hearing from the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals will be live streamed. And if you follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet out that live stream, but you can find it. Go to the 7th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals website, click on oral arguments, and you'll see there oral argument videos. You click there, and then you find a YouTube link where it will be live Thursday morning. But we also went through some of the latest briefs, the final briefs that are being filed. And they come from Cook County, City of Chicago, the state of Illinois. About a week ago, you had the filings from the plaintiffs' groups that were responding to the initial government filings. What are the ultimate arguments here? Well, to delve into this a bit further, Maxon Shooter Supplies owner Dan Eldridge, he joins us to talk about that and more, including a fundraiser event that's coming up later this week. Dan, thanks for taking time with us this morning, and let's get to the latest here. What's in your understanding the kind of distilled arguments that are going to be heard Thursday in the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals?
Hi, Greg. Good morning. So on Thursday morning, we are, I believe, the only case being heard at 9:30. Each side is getting 45 minutes. The last round of briefs from the defendants was nothing new on the one hand and somewhat bizarre on the other hand. But the arguments really are unchanged. We're entitled to injunctive relief here, and we were granted it in the Southern District, and we're seeking to have the stay issued by the appeals panel the motions panel. We're seeking to have that stay lifted.
So we've got, of course, the Southern District cases, which the federal firearms licensees of Illinois were consolidated with 3 other plaintiffs' groups in the Southern District. But you had that Northern District set of cases where they sided with the gun bans. How do you think that's going to play out here when it comes to a decision, and when do you think a decision will be made?
We'll know a lot more after the orals. Right now, we don't know who's on the appeals panel. And I think we'll get a pretty good flavor for how it's going to go during the orals. As you mentioned, we are hosting a fundraiser with Chuck Michelle and Todd Vandermeide, both at Maxon's and at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. For those of your listeners who don't know, Chuck is one of the most prominent Second Amendment lawyers out there, California Rifle Pistol Association, head of the Second Amendment Law Center. He's our lead attorney. And what we'll do is take 60 or 90 minutes and offer people a briefing on how the orals went, what the likely path forward is, and most importantly, what we expect the timing to be in terms of these getting any orders out of the Seventh Circuit.
Talk about how absolutely instrumental getting injunctive relief is as a gun store owner, as somebody who sells firearms to law-abiding citizens. How important would that injunctive relief be whenever it's granted, if it's granted?
Well, it's the first step to getting back to business as usual, and typically injunctive relief is granted as a means to return to the status quo before litigation. Well, in this case, the status quo is that we could sell semi-automatic rifles, magazine-fed semi-automatic rifles and handguns that held more than 15-round magazines. So we truly are entitled to injunctive relief on that basis. We're entitled to it on a number of other bases, including that there's no legal there's no means within the legal system for us to recoup damages. The state has sovereign immunity, so it's not as though as gun shops we can sue the state and collect damages for lost business. And the denial of people's Second Amendment rights is itself an ongoing injury that needs to get stayed pending the outcome of this litigation. We're confident that Judge McGlynn got his decision correct, and we look forward to having this stay lifted and getting back to business as of January, as it was in January 9th.
We're talking with Dan Eldridge. He is the owner of Maxon Shooter Supplies in Des Plaines, and I just want to get your reaction to some of the arguments that the state, Cook, and City of Chicago are making, saying that I think they wrapped in the gunpowder regulations. They talk about these semi-automatic rifles are very lethal. The technology's advanced, and they're only used for criminal purposes, and also that that they're not within the scope of legal self-defense. So a lot on the table there. How do you guys respond to that stuff?
Well, there's a lot of nothing on the table because none of those arguments comport with Bruin or Heller. Bruin being simply a restatement of Heller for the most part. I haven't dug carefully through them. I do have a day job, so I can't read briefs that aren't going to improve my knowledge base much, but the snippets that I have seen are some of it is simply bizarre that a Browning automatic rifle that's shooting 30-06 is somehow less lethal than a semi-automatic centerfire rifle shooting a varmint load. It's just bizarre stuff, and none of it's new. And again, none of it is compliant with. None of it comports with Bruin or Heller.
Dan, you'd mentioned the fundraisers coming up, two separate ones for the same cause, one Thursday at Maxon in Des Plaines, and then Friday at 7 in Aurora at the Aurora Sportsman's Club. Talk again about how people can get into those fundraisers.
Sure. So the organization that is sponsoring these fundraisers is SADC, the Second Amendment Defense and Education Council. This is a organization that was born out of the Aurora Sportsman's Club. It is intended to be a 501c3 advocacy group. They've applied for 501c3 status, and they expect to receive it. So on Thursday, we will be meeting at 7 o'clock at Maxon in Des Plaines. On Friday at 7 o'clock at the Aurora Sportsman's Club in Waterman. Tickets are $100. That's a donation to help support this litigation. They're available at sadec.org, sadec.org. It's a really, really important important thing to keep funding this litigation. It is breathtakingly expensive. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars so far. And we haven't even cleared the district court yet. We're arguing over injunctions and stays. Excuse me. And so we would really encourage people to come. I think it will be time well spent for everybody and a great opportunity to support an important Second Amendment cause.
Dan Eldridge, Max and Shooter Supplies in Des Plaines. Greatly appreciate your time, and if you could just close out with how much this has impacted your business and your employees, and not just you, but gun stores and firearms stores all up and down the state.
It's not great among our membership at FFLIL. People are down 10 to 50 or more % in terms of business. And of course, we're coming into what's typically the slow season. So, but more than that, we really are looking for a win. I don't want people to get demoralized. We have the law on our side. We have the facts on our side. And we are going to win this thing. It's just a process that we have to slog through.
Dan Eldridge, Max and Shooter Supplies, greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk again in the very near future. All right.
Thanks, Rick. Always good to talk to you.
Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk, now at 7:50. And let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of 86. Looks like some winds up to around 16 miles an hour. Then overnight, low of 63. For Wednesday, chance of showers, a high of 86. Chance of showers Wednesday night as well, with the possibility of some showers come Thursday with a high of 94. It's going to be windy with 20-mile-an-hour gusts. Chance of showers Friday with a high of 93. Saturday, chance of storms with a high of 86. Right now, it's about 65 degrees at 7:51 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
It's another MVP showdown at Busch Stadium on June 30th, July 1st, and 2nd when the New York Yankees come to town. The 2022 MVP Aaron Judge, former Redbird Harrison Bader, and the New York Yankees visit St. Louis for an MVP matchup against Goldie Arenado and the Cardinals. Baseball's most storied franchises go head-to-head to kick off your holiday weekend, and you don't want to miss it. Great seats remain. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com.
This is Nolan Arenado. Don't miss a legendary moment at Busch Stadium.
Roger Maris is at bat. There it is. A standing ovation for Roger Maris.
The Cardinals host the New York Yankees the weekend of June 30th through July 2nd. On Saturday, July 1st, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older will take home their own Roger Maris bobblehead thanks to Edward Jones. After a stellar Yankees career, Maris joined the Cardinals and was a key member of the 1967 World Championship team. Join us as we honor his legacy on Saturday, July 1st. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
If you're a business owner, you probably have a lot of people who want to handle your digital business. Now, some of those people might be located in some other part of the country or beyond. At Midwest Family, it's a little different. We have all those digital resources they do, but with us, the people spearheading the effort are right there with you in the office or restaurant or golf course or wherever. And our clients will tell you the results have been great. My name's Dave Dennis. Look me up at MidwestFamilySPI.com. And let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877.
We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-989-8906 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-989-8906. That's 800-989-8906. What do you have to lose? Call 800-989-8906. Again, 800-989-8906.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
What's going on in Russia? Of course, they have been at war with Ukraine for well over a year, and over the weekend there were headlines that there was going to be mutiny, that there was going to be an insurrection, that people are clamoring for there to be an insurrection in Russia. Those who are opposed to Russia, siding with Ukraine, they were gung-ho about this, but apparently whatever this Wagner group, they have reversed course and are apparently no longer threatening Putin's regime in Russia. But Senator Dick Durbin, he chimed in on this yesterday. He was up in Chicago with Governor J.B. Pritzker and other federal elected officials touting the high-speed, or I should say higher-speed rail. But the senator from Springfield was asked about the ongoing situation in Russia, especially after the weekend headlines were all about possible mutiny here. Here's what Senator Dick Durbin had to say yesterday in response to what's going on in Russia. And let me fire that back up, and here we go. Go. Oh, come on. Stupid program. There we go. All right.
Vladimir Putin is paying a heavy price for the invasion of Ukraine. He not only has military setbacks which have led to his attack on innocent civilians, he's seen himself branded a war criminal for the barbaric acts that he's engaged in, and now, almost unprecedented in history, a direct confrontation with dissenters and those who don't agree with his policies when it comes to Ukraine. He's paying this heavy price, and he should. It is outrageous what he's done in Ukraine. We're watching it very carefully. We want to maintain stability in the situation as best we can from afar, but this is being sponsored and authorized by Russians, not by others.
So there you go, Senator Dick Durbin's comments about what's going on in Ukraine. So we'll be, of course, getting updates on that from ABC News and elsewhere throughout the news world, because all eyes are on what's going on in Russia. All right, coming up next, I'm going to get a bit wonky. We're going to talk pensions. I chatted with a couple of individuals from S&P Global Ratings. They put out a pension report about Illinois and how Illinois public sector pensions are going to continue to put stress on state and local budgets. While we're digging out of a hole, there's still substantial problems, they say. So we'll hear from those professionals in that space and other post-employment benefits, the consolidated police and fire pension funds, and so much more. Stay tuned. Right now, though, it's 8 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Justin Finch. Former President Trump's re-election campaign is responding to the audio tapes on which he appears to acknowledge that he was in possession of classified material outside the White House.
Yeah. See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, but this is classified.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Here's ABC Chief Law and Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Audio obtained by ABC News involves a July 2021 conversation between Trump, members of his staff, and two researchers on a book that was being written by former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
It is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this.
The audio, which is being publicly heard for the first time, is a critical piece of evidence for Special Counsel Jack Smith.
Trump's campaign says the former president was speaking rhetorically. Russia now says it will not prosecute the Wagner mercenary group or its leader, Yevgeny Prigozhin. He has broken his silence, saying his goal in marching troops in Russia was not to overthrow President Vladimir Putin, but to protest some of Moscow's military leaders. Airline travelers nationwide continue to be impacted by patches of bad weather and residual flight cancellations and delays because of it.
It's been very frustrating. Got to the airport, got our bags checked in, the flight was delayed, then delayed again, and then canceled. Trying to get my bags back, and I'll take a bus.
He was at Newark Airport, where departures were reduced by 75% on Monday, a different kind of travel frustration in New York City, where the federal government has just given the green light for congestion pricing. Commuters could be charged $23 to drive south of 60th Street in Manhattan. Mass transit official Jano Lieber says it'll lead to
less congestion, better air quality, safer streets.
This is ABC News.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
He might not have a badge, but we have faith in his killer instinct. Celebrate the 10th anniversary of famed detective priest, Father Brown. Stream the new season now, only on BritBox.
That sounds like a marvelous plan.
Plus, watch even more unofficial detectives in much-loved series, including Agatha Christie's Marple, Murder in Provence, and more. Expect intriguing mystery. Expect the Undetectives. Start streaming today at BritBox.com.
All right, coming up next, we'll talk about Illinois' pensions. States and local pensions are going to continue to be a burden on state and local taxpayer-funded budgets. That's according to S&P Global Ratings. I chatted with a couple of analysts from S&P yesterday. I'll share with you that wonky conversation next with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's now 8:03.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Federal funding has been reduced to help low-income households pay their utility bills. The Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program will not offer summer assistance this year. When registration opens in October, it will be available only to certain categories of low-income households, like those with persons over 60 or under 6, or a person with disabilities. Others may apply beginning in November until the funding runs out. The Illinois Supreme Court justice, who made history with her appointment to the state's highest court last year, is now running for a full term. Justice Lisa Holder White became the court's first black female justice when she was sworn in last July. Holder White's appointment runs through late 2024, so she will run next year as a Republican for a full 10-year term in the court's 4th district. She and her husband live in Sangamon County. Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has new solar arrays that officials say will save money and be more environmentally friendly. More than half the $6 million cost will be covered by solar renewable energy credits from the state of Illinois, as well as a power purchase agreement with Balance Solar, which helped to finance the project. The solar panels will reduce utility bills at the airport by $350,000 annually and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 8 million vehicle miles. The emotional support line, set up by Memorial Behavioral Health to help people cope during the COVID pandemic, will end July 1st. Since its inception in March of 2020, the service has taken more than 4,000 calls from people who were then connected to counselors from Memorial. Memorial says there are other ways to access help, including the National 988 hotline. In addition, the mobile crisis line for Sangamon and surrounding counties is available 24/7 at 217-788-7070. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Save big money at Menards with 11% off everything for a fantastic 4th of July. Patriotic caps and t-shirts are on sale for just $3.99 each after rebate. Patriotic quad chairs with carrying bag, only $12.99 after rebate. Keep bugs away with big savings on insect repellents. An LED bug zapper bulb is just $2.97 after rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Less frustration, more vacation. Book a nonstop flight from Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, SPI, to Fort Myers, Punta Gorda at Allegiant.com and experience the sun, fun, and relaxation of Southwest Florida. Find low fares and save big by bundling at Allegiant.com. Fly from SPI and spend more time enjoying vacation. Book your flight from SPI at Allegiant.com. Fly local. Fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Hello everybody, Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving, your Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Thanks for that. Is your driveway a sloppy, muddy mess? Are you tired of getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe you're sick of all the sloppy mud in the car and in the house. Or maybe you don't want all the garbage rock in your lawn. Well, if so, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Local, local, local for 27 years. Just Beds has been your local mattress store for 27 years, featuring locally made Bemco mattresses like Arctic Breeze and Max Life. That's a lot of local helping local. And all this month at Just Beds, you will save big on Bemco. Twin mattresses for $149, queen mattresses just $229. As always, free delivery, setup, and haul away locally. Thank you for supporting Just Beds for 27 years. Keep buying local, friends. See the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale and Springfield. Just Beds.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health: meditation. It starts with proper breathing. By breathing in slowly for 5 or 10 seconds and exhaling, counting the same way, for just a few minutes each day has been a big deal for many people as they reach a new level of relaxation. Now, that's just a start. If your feelings of depression and hopelessness are accentuated with drugs and alcohol, then you may need some professional help. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychiatrists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Gateway also uses meditation as a key component of their successful treatment. Your insurance covers the cost, and the Family Medical Leave Act protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine saving lives.
Checking accounts. They're a lot like flavors of sparkling water. It's really hard to tell them apart. But at BOS, our Checking Plus account is packed with bold banking features like built-in identity theft protection, shopping rewards, and even protection for your smartphone. Now that's refreshing. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today. Visit bankwithbos.com. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. Stop by a branch today for full details and terms.
Looking to buy your next home or considering listing? My wife and I recommend choosing RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister. Working with Fritz to find our new home in Sangamon County was truly a wonderful experience. He's prompt, responsive, and we had constant communication. He was committed to serving our needs and made our home buying experience an absolute pleasure. RE/MAX Professionals of Springfield, Fritz Pfister, 217-652-7653. 217-652-7653. Buying or selling a home? Fritz makes it easy.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Illinois' 5 states-operated public employee retiree pension funds are only about 42% funded, and they have a $140 billion unfunded pension liability. And that's a long-term cost that the state just can't shake. But it's not just the state pensions. You've also got local police and firefighter pension funds that also have an unfunded liability. And I want to say they're about 55% funded or so, depending on which fund you look at for police or firefighters after all of those funds were consolidated. But that faces a challenge in the Illinois Supreme Court. They have yet to set a hearing date on when that'll be heard, but that challenge persists. But when it comes to the pension issue, obviously there's a lot of eyes on this because that's a substantial amount of debt that the state has to manage, and about 1 out of every 5 tax dollars the state takes in is going to public sector pensions, the 5 funds that the state has. S&P Global Ratings, they released a report yesterday about Illinois' poorly funded pensions and how it's going to continue to stress state and local governments and their budgets. And the report is called Pension Spotlight, Illinois. And it was released yesterday. In announcing the reports, they expect costs will keep rising because of contributions significantly short of meaningful funding progress. Plans are poorly funded, and the Illinois Pension Code allows plans to use assumptions and methodologies that defer costs. So I reached out to S&P and we connected, and I chatted with a couple of their analysts, Joe Vadziak and Todd Canister, and they broke down what the report spells out. Here is Joseph talking about, he was the author of the report, what ultimately this spells out for Illinois' pension woes.
I think the whole analogy is going to be used a lot with this piece. They are moving in a positive direction. We're highlighting some of the positive developments that have occurred here with Illinois pensions in the recently, including the supplemental payments, the savings that they're generating now with the tier 2 benefits. But as you kind of mentioned, the hole, it is a big hole. They got a lot of digging to do. And they're making progress on that. And there's still some risks and some difficulties on the way out.
Part of the report talks about demographic trends that don't look great, population decline as well, and how that could be compounding some of the problems here. I asked Vanderzak to ultimately break that down and what they're looking at when it comes to the overall costs and the pressures on taxpayer-funded budgets.
Well, the actuaries who are recommending the contributions and the statutory funding guidelines are all based on a level percent of payroll. So for example, you talk about the the demographics. If payrolls don't grow at the rate that they're set forth within the Illinois statutes or by the actuarial recommendations, it's going to defer costs. The costs are determined based on a percentage of payroll. And if your payroll is not growing on the percentage that they anticipate, costs get deferred and are going to have to be picked up with larger contributions down the line. And there's a number of assumptions that the state uses in the Illinois pension code that could create some risk down the road. Right now they're expecting contributions to increase and remain a relatively level percent of the budget. But, if those assumptions fail to materialize or fall short, it could creep up a little bit more.
So that's Joseph Wadziak, who is the author of the S&P report, but he also had another analyst with him,
income for a pension.
Todd Canister. Todd, he talks about more of kind of in depth of what Joseph's reports ultimately spells out for the pensions.
Income for a pension plan comes from two places: investments and contributions. So we've already mentioned discount rate, assumed return. That's the market risk side. On the other side is everything else, everything that Joe described here. Anything that leads to a contribution shortfall will lead to a revenue shortfall for the plan.
And Todd also talked about the idea of 90% funded, which is where the pension ramp is supposed to get Illinois pensions by 2045, I believe is the date. But, actuaries, they want full funding, not 90% funding. Todd kind of breaks this down a bit from the idea of what it means for these funds to not be fully funded according to the plan.
So, this is just funding to 90%. Their goal is 90% funding. So that means they're not, that's our very first point of our, we have a guidelines out there. And number one is, do they have a plan to reach full funding? And if they have a plan in place that is not geared toward full funding, we generally view that negatively because, so if they're funding it, I'm just going to kind of repeat myself here. Sorry for being clumsy, but they're funding to 90%, so they don't have a plan to fund fully. That tends to be one of the factors toward shorting the contributions for the year.
So again, we're hearing from some S&P analysts about Illinois' pension woes. Joe Wadziak and Todd Canister chatted with them yesterday about their report, highlighting how Illinois has a substantial amount of work to do to get out of its pension hole. While it is making some progress, including increased funding for pensions, it's not enough to fully handle the overall costs. Some of those costs include other post-employment benefits. That's the health care that state retirees get. And for Tier 1, it's fully subsidized by taxpayers. And that's a cost that's not necessarily included in that $140 billion unfunded pension liability. I've seen estimates that tack on another $50+ billion for health care costs that's not being funded. And Joe Wadziak, he breaks down the OPEB benefits, the other post-employment benefits, and how those are impacting the bottom line here.
The OPEB benefits, they are working under the there's a teacher's health insurance fund, which is paying some OPEB liabilities, but most of it's funded on a pay-as-you-go basis. The key risk here is that the premiums related with these plans that they're paying, to the insurance companies, create some budgetary pressure down the line. Those costs increase. We're seeing medical costs inflate at a higher rate than the normal CPI does. We've seen a track record of that, which could lead to higher insurance costs, higher premiums, and the state was going to have to make up that with the higher contributions in the future. I think they've made some minor, relatively de minimis increases to the funded ratio of some of the OPEB plans here, but this is pretty similar for most pay-as-you-go plans throughout the country. It's a low cost now, but as these, inflation for medical care continues to increase, these costs are going to grow.
More from them. We've talked primarily about the state's pension funds, but what about those local police and fire pension funds? That was part of their report released yesterday from S&P Global Ratings. And they highlight that this is a developing story when it comes to Illinois' local pension funds. And more from Joseph Vadziak.
It's still a emerging story. We still haven't had any annual reports out of these plans. It's kind of a growing story. Right now, we are seeing the assumed rate of returns used in these plans. And we do note from our last pension brief back in 2021 that is going to actually result in some of these plans taking on a little bit more market risk as their discount rates were lower than that. It's going to result in improved funded ratio, but again, more market risk, more volatility. And for some of these places in Illinois, more volatility could be difficult for them to incorporate into the budgets.
So the local pension funds, that picture still has yet to be fully painted, and something that S&P Global Ratings is putting on their radar as they continue to analyze public sector credit ratings. So yesterday's report from S&P did not include a rating action. I think it's important. It just merely is an overview of where the state is with its pension situation. And you have some final words here about comparing Illinois' pension situation to the rest of the country. And Todd Canister with S&P Global Ratings breaks that down for us. And go.
The story behind Illinois is some of these large plans, as you can see from Joe's report here, they're poorly funded, 42, 43%. That's not the worst in the country, but it's certainly not the best in the country. There's also funding discipline, not only where they are, but where they're going. Are they contributing enough? And so as Joe has mentioned here, there's a lot of aspects here in Illinois that are very complicated and are not directly tied to an actuarial recommendation. So we see some improvements here, as Joe mentioned, but they're not fully contributing the actuarial recommendation as you can see on that chart 3. Sorry. So as far as where they are compared to other states, there's too many factors to just sort of put them in one line. But and I don't want to step on Joe's message here. They are poorly funded. There's a lot of risk. They've taken some steps, both on the liability side and on the asset side, to start to address some of these risks.
So again, those are just a couple of analysts from S&P Global Ratings I chatted with yesterday about a very wonky issue that's driving a major amount of taxpayer cost in the state, both in state taxes and local taxes. And when you look at the local picture, a lot of places have high property taxes, and how are they going to be able to sustain those high property taxes if people leave that area because of high property taxes? And if they don't have taxpayers to fund the growing pension costs, you can see how that could start spiraling in the wrong direction, causing substantial problems and pressures on not just state but local budgets as well. Go and check out the reports I published yesterday, and you can see that at thecentersquare.com. S&P Illinois' poorly funded pensions continue to stress state and local budgets. So you can find that linked at my Twitter account. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Stay tuned. We got a lot more still left. We'll talk a little bit of high-speed rail. I also want to get your take on where is the best place to travel here in Illinois. All right, I love weekend getaways. I love being able to take some recreational stuff to places. So I want to hear from you where you think the best places to visit in Illinois are. All right, so stay tuned. We'll get to that a little bit later on. 8:23 now from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash. Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better at Landmark.
We're celebrating Hendricks Home Furnishings' grand reopening. I'm Jennifer Hendricks. Our suppliers are offering special savings on nearly every line, from Cannondale Dining to Hooker Furniture, Durham, Illinois-based Green Gables, and more, with seating, tables, rugs, and decor. Win a Lazy Boy sofa, recliners, gift certificates, and cash prizes. Browse our renovated, expanded showroom. Let our family put our decades of expertise to work for you with huge savings at our grand reopening. Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4, Burden.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine, except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
All right, head over to WMAY.com/poll where you can take today's daily poll, and it asks you a question about Russia. And it says, what's your assessment after the aborted insurrection in Russia this past weekend? Putin is weaker now, Putin is stronger now, or nothing's really changed? 57% of you say he's weaker now. More of you are saying nothing's really changed. So earlier, it was very few of you saying that Putin's stronger now, nothing's really changed, with the vast majority saying he's weaker now. But looks like still 57% say he's weaker now, while 35% now say that nothing's really changed. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Well, after years and nearly $2 billion, Illinois beginning higher speed rail. An announcement that was made yesterday out of Chicago. The Lincoln Rail Service will be the one that starts with 110 mile an hour service, with the rest of the lines catching up here soon. But it's expected to take 15 minutes off of travel time from Chicago to St. Louis. That's, actual travel time versus the actual time you arrive, right? I subscribe to Amtrak on Twitter, and it's amazing to see just the regular tweets they have about such and such line is delayed by 40 minutes because of a signal issue, or such and such line continues delays because of a track issue, or whatever the case may be. But I know that high-speed rail has been going on in the funding for it and the construction of it for well over a decade. I actually was on the inaugural 110 mile an hour track back in 2011, 2012. I remember going up, I think it was Joliet, is when Governor Pat Quinn was governor, and he touted it, and he held a news conference inside a train car, and we got to be in one of the compartments where they had a speedometer on the wall, and we got to see it go. It actually got up to like 111, 112 miles an hour. But we've spent nearly $2 billion on this. And Governor J.B. Pritzker heralding the plan and the movement forward to 110 miles an hour.
They allow our residents to access new jobs and to start new businesses, and they bring neighborhoods and cities closer together to collaborate for the betterment of our entire region.
And Pritzker, again, with state and federal officials, talked about the project's future and how it makes Illinois a transportation hotspot.
Illinois is the only state where all 7 of the nation's largest railroads operate. That's a unique economic advantage recognized by employers across the globe.
So I've got phone lines lighting up here. Let's go ahead and take a few calls before the bottom of the hour news at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's how you can chime in live and local. And let's go to those phones. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
So you said this project cost Illinois how much money?
Well, it costs taxpayers. I'm sure there's substantial amount for federal tax dollars. But yeah, I think like 1.9 some odd billion dollars, close to $2 billion.
For 15 minutes of travel time from St. Louis to Chicago, and that doesn't include the delays, which the last time I wrote it, it was so delayed because they couldn't get the track straightened out. So it's probably going to take longer now than it did before. And the real question is, how much money did Dick Durbin receive in his pocket for this? Because that's really where this needs to be addressed, not how much time it takes.
If you have any evidence of that, of course, bring it forward and we'll investigate it properly. But regardless, there's a lot of tax dollars involved here. There's no question. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yes. Take a look at what California's done with their high-speed rail system. It's just a giant boondoggle. I don't know why Illinois has to take California for the lead. California's destroyed, and they're going to destroy Illinois the same way.
All right, got you down. Some guys out there not too happy about high-speed rail, or higher-speed rail, I should say. But yeah, hey, if you get on Amtrak and you travel, you might run into some delays, but hey, it'll shave off 15 minutes going 110 miles an hour along some of the tracks. So hey, there you go. Your tax dollars hard at work. It is Springfield's Morning News. Got to take a break. Coming back, I want to hear from you about the best places to visit in Illinois. All right, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number now, 834, and a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The number of different e-cigarette devices sold in the U.S. has nearly tripled to over 9,000, despite its 3-year effort by the Food and Drug Administration to crack down on kid-friendly flavors. The rise in electronic cigarettes has been almost entirely driven by a wave of cheap, disposable devices imported from China, mostly sold in fruit and candy flavors. All are technically illegal, but they continue to flow into U.S. ports with little threat of retaliation. A group of Springfield churches met Sunday night to discuss hateful and harmful rhetoric directed toward the LGBTQ community. 7 churches took part, including First Presbyterian Church downtown, which hosted the event. Attendees noted recent unsubstantiated claims by a local pastor alleging that a transgender woman had exposed herself to a child in a locker room in Springfield, and a column by Catholic Bishop Thomas John Paprocki in which he appeared to defend laws in Uganda criminalizing homosexual acts in that country. The Illinois Supreme Court justice, who made history with her appointment to the state's highest court last year, is now running for a full term. Justice Lisa Holder White became the court's first black female justice when she was sworn in last July. Holder White's appointment runs through late 2024, so she will run next year as a Republican for a full 10-year term in the court's 4th district. She and her husband live in Sangamon County. High-speed rail has come to Illinois. Monday marked the start of the regular 110-mile-per-hour Amtrak service between Chicago and St. Louis. Governor J.B. Pritzker marked the occasion with an event in Chicago in which he said the $2 billion multi-year project to revamp the rail corridor will mean shorter travel times, along with greater safety and reliability. The passenger trains will run at 110 miles an hour along 80% of the route through the state, but will move more slowly through metro areas like Springfield. The emotional support line, set up by Memorial Behavioral Health to help people cope during the COVID pandemic, will end July 1st. Since its inception in March of 2020, the service has taken more than 4,000 calls from people who were then connected to counselors from Memorial. Memorial says there are other ways to access help, including the National 988 hotline. In addition, the mobile crisis line for Sangamon and surrounding counties is available 24/7 at 217-788-7070. Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has new solar arrays that officials say will save money and be more environmentally friendly. More than half the $6 million cost will be covered by solar renewable energy credits from the state of Illinois, as well as a power purchase agreement with Balance Solar, which helped to finance the project. The solar panels will reduce utility bills at the airport by $350,000 annually and will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the equivalent of 8 million vehicle miles. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine, saving lives.
Hello, everybody. It's Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving, and we want to thank you for voting us #1 Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Now, is that driveway of yours a sloppy, muddy mess? Is your driveway becoming a nuisance? Are you getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe your driveway is soft and it's unfunctional. Well, call the day and get on the schedule to get your driveway back to looking good, and you'll feel great about it. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Hi, it's Ed Lex with Edward Jones. Listen to the Business Spotlight with Edward Jones this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Sunny today with a high near 86, low around 64 tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm with a high near 88, low around 71. Thursday, a chance of morning showers with a high near 96. Friday, a chance of showers with a high near 94. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high near 87 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
What, you are asking yourself, would it be like to work in the shadow of the great Lauterbach man? Well, now is your chance to find out. We are hiring here at Lauterbach Tire, but not just anybody. No, you've got to be good at what you do and experienced at what you do. So if you're a tire and lube technician and you know your stuff, you have experience, you could work here for a great family company. I know what you're asking. Hey, Lauterbach man, what do you have for me? Well, we have opportunities for advancement, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a hearty good morning from me. It's an opening for a full-time tire and lube technician with experience. We can only send the best out to work on the cars in our 7 bays. Interested? Of course you are. Apply in person at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. It will be a pleasure to work with you. Lauterbach man here. Drive safely now.
Get ready to rock as Broadway Under the Stars continues at the Muni, now playing Rock of Ages. This jukebox musical takes you back to the big bad 1980s, featuring big bands with big egos playing big guitar solos and sporting even bigger hair. Featuring hits from bands like Styx, Journey, REO Speedwagon, Twisted Sister, Pat Benatar, and more. Rock of Ages tells the story of a city boy and a small-town girl and how their band of friends saved the day and the music. UCB presents Rock of Ages, now playing through July 1st. Get tickets at the box office or themuni.org.
Save big money at Menards with 11% off everything for a fantastic 4th of July. Patriotic caps and t-shirts are on sale for just $3.99 each after rebate. Patriotic quad chairs with carrying bag, only $12.99 after rebate. Keep bugs away with big savings on insect repellents. An LED bug zapper bulb is just $2.97 after rebate. Good through July 4th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Think about all the home movies, family memories, and even precious, embarrassing moments you have stored on VHS. Hate to tell you this, these tapes aren't forever. They last 10 to 30 years. Back them up now before it's too late. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by NetSuite, the #1 cloud financial system. Get no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/Kim. So what can you do to preserve those precious family memories? You can transfer your VHS tapes to a digital format. It's easy with a VHS to DVD converter. This has a VHS player on one side and a DVD recorder on the other. Now, there are also many other services that will do this conversion for you. You send them your tapes, and they return them along with a DVD, USB drive, or they save them up in the cloud. Try Legacy Box, Southtree, and iMemories. And to preserve the tapes you already have, keep them in a cool, dry place, away from sunlight and humidity. NASA, the FBI, and top tech execs get my daily tech newsletter. Sign up now at getkim.com. So many people ask me this one question. What's the biggest mistake I've seen business owners make over the years? It's using the wrong software. And we all know that time is money. How much time are you spending getting bogged down by manual processes, spreadsheets, and multiple systems? Right now, my sponsor, NetSuite by Oracle, has an unprecedented offer. Get no payments and no interest for 6 months on a full implementation of the world's #1 cloud ERP. With NetSuite, you can manage and automate all of your business processes in one place. You can boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. Get the visibility and control you need to make better decisions faster. And if you've been sizing NetSuite up to make the switch, then you know this deal is unprecedented. No interest, no payments. Take advantage of the special financing offer at netsuite.com/Kim. That's netsuite.com/Kim to get the visibility and control that you need to weather any storm. netsuite.com/.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Megan and I love traveling. If you check out my YouTube channel, you'll see a travel playlist. It's got stuff of us going to Iceland 4 different times. And trust me, we plan on going back there in the very near future. It's just a wonderful place. We travel all around the Midwest. We recently went down to Sullivan, Missouri for a weekend getaway to go spelunking in some caves. There's still some caves in that area we want to go check out. We want to go down to, I believe in Kentucky with Mammoth Cave, which apparently is the largest cave in North America. So we want to check that out eventually. But I know there's so much beauty here in Illinois because it's such a diverse state. We've got all the prairie land around here, but further south you get rolling hills, and there's some wonderful pockets up in the northwest part of the state. It's just really a diverse state. And the state of Illinois, with their tourism office, released the latest Everything to Do in Illinois, part of the Middle of Everywhere campaign. And you got Jane Lynch, famed actress, native of Illinois. She directed these series of videos. And I want to hear from you where Megan and I should go. Where should we put the pin on the map and plan on heading out? But let's hear and see what the latest from Enjoy Illinois has to offer.
The middle of everything, there's everything to do. Canoe, the rivers of Shawnee, try 17th Street barbecue. Feeding alpacas, friends along the way, sipping rosé, what a lovely day. Off to Camel Rock, the perfect sunset. Have we begun to explore Illinois yet? In the middle of everything, there's everything to do.
So, what do you think? Of course, funded by the Office of Tourism, the state of Illinois taxpayers, and that's going to go out to obviously those around the state, but also outside of the state. And it's said that this tourism campaign in the past has generated $1 billion+ of economic activity in restaurants and in hotels. But I want to hear from you at 217-629-7970 what you think some of the best places to visit are here in the state of Illinois. So again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number for you to sound off. Somebody on YouTube asking if I've been to Cave in Rock. I don't think I have, so I'm absolutely going to have to put that on my list. I know that Shawnee has incredible places to dip our kayaks in. We've been to Camel Rock down there in the Garden of the Gods. But I'll have to check in to Cave in Rock as well. But you've also got Starved Rock, which Megan and I do plan on heading to also. Somebody says one of the best places I still love to this day is Galena, Illinois. I've been there for a conference, and we did take like a late night trolley on some of the hillsides and saw the lights that were on display, and it really was gorgeous. However, I understand that you've got some prime skiing opportunities in Galena, so maybe we plan on doing that sometime during the winter months. Taking a look here, people still commenting on high-speed rail or higher speed rail. Also, let's see here. where else should we go? You can chime in on YouTube, or you can call in live and local at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. We do like going here locally. There's some great creeks that you can just dip into with a kayak or a canoe and go scooting around and taking in the wonderful sounds of the water and the wildlife and all the birds. And Megan even saw a beaver. I did not see said beaver, but there's also tons of turtles all over the place. Where should we go? Where should we plan our next Illinois getaway? Should we head up to Starved Rock? Maybe rent a camper or something? Should we head back down to Shawnee National Forest? There's tons there that we have yet to take in, including the kayaking and water sports prospects down in Shawnee. There's also Lake Shelbyville. We went to Lake Shelbyville, I think, last year, Labor Day, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. You can find the video of our travels through Shelbyville at the YouTube channel on the travel side of Bishop on Air. But we love getting out. It's a way for us to unplug, especially with as busy as I am in the day. Just looking back at the jam-packed content we provide, the interviews, the analysis, the words directly from sources, and the video components and all. I'm a busy guy. So when the weekends come up, I want to get the heck out of Dodge, if you know what I mean, and just unplug. Not have to, look at headlines, not have to, worry about getting on the phone and calling sources. So definitely enjoy my weekends off after putting in 12, 13, 14-hour days from time to time. So keeping it busy. But when we do get out, we like to go hard, right? Work hard, play hard. And that's something that Megan and I do quite a bit. And looking forward to when we get out to our next adventure. But I want to hear from you where that should be. Again, 217-629-7970. Greg, Galena, Illinois, Eagle Ridge Resort. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Eagle Ridge Resort. Get a reservation there and take in some of the local food and whatnot. And I know some of these places too, the more popular places, especially if you go elsewhere throughout the country, you've got to reserve your spot well in advance. Some of the national parks out west, they're like a year in advance of bookings. So good luck trying to get in. So another goal that Megan and I have is we want to get an RV. We want to get a travel trailer. One of those 20-footers that I can trail with my Ford Ranger, hook it up, get the kayaks on a ladder rack, get the bikes in there, and just go somewhere. Even for nice little weekend giveaways. So absolutely something I love doing is traveling, and I need to do more of it. There's no question. All right, best place to be, Eagle Ridge Resort, Galena. Lake Shelbyville has reasonably priced rental boats and beautiful shoreline without homes and tons of natural wildlife. I will say, when we went to Shelbyville last time, we rented a cabin, and the cabin was great. I had my brother come up from the St. Louis area, and he stayed on location as well, and we went kayaking around Lake Shelbyville. It was wonderful. We'd do that again, no question. Matson Park. I'm going to have to check that out. I've heard of it. I've not actually been there. So Matson State Park, or is it Matheson State Park? Either way, we'll definitely put that on our to-do list, especially as we've got, summer here, taking some extended weekends here and there, getting out on a Friday night, getting somewhere and just taking in the wonderful landscapes that Illinois offers. I know people are landscapes. It's prairie land around here. I'm telling you, there's some times when Megan and I are heading off to dinner and we're driving west, for instance, on a country road, and just the beautiful prairie and the sunset and the colors. There's something about, you don't get that in the mountains. In the mountains, yeah, you get neat little ridges and the mountain lines and whatnot, but you don't get to see the vastness of the sky and the setting of the sun and the rising of the moon, and you don't get just that massive amount of eye candy as you do living in the prairie. So that is one nice aspect I do like of living in the prairie state. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News on WMAY. Stay tuned. We'll wrap things up next now at 8:52. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where it's going to be a hot one with the possibility of showers throughout the rest of the week. Today, the high of 86, mostly sunny, the low of 63. We do have a chance of showers Wednesday with a high around 86. There's a chance of showers continues Wednesday night, the low of 70. Thursday, mostly sunny and hot, 94 the high. It's going to be windy with gusts up to 20 miles an hour. Friday, chance of showers and storms with a high of 93. And then a chance of storms Saturday with a high of 96. Right now, 62 degrees. Check that temperature. It's been a bit since we've updated our temperature. Let's check that now, near 70 degrees at 8:53 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Hey, business owners, recruitment is tough, isn't it? And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier. Here are some things to remember. Your best recruit is working somewhere else right now, so they're not going to be attending job fairs or browsing classifieds. Try building a profile of your best employee. Where did they come from? Then let's talk to more of those people. And use some tools that your competitors might not be. Hint, hint. Indeed discovered that a long time ago. And they're big radio users, but it's not just radio. It's that combined with targeted digital campaigns spearheaded by local people like us, people who can visit your office or restaurant or golf course or wherever. My name's Dave Dennis. I rejoined Midwest Family a while back as an integrated marketing consultant because of the great things that can happen if you decide to talk to us. And when you do, I'll send you our newest ebook on recruitment. It's free and full of ideas on how to tackle the recruitment challenges you're facing today. Look for me at MidwestFamilySPI.com. And let's talk about your next step to business success in this changing world.
Buying a new mattress shouldn't be like buying a new car. Mattress retailers reel you in with a low price, and their salespeople try to sell you something at a high price. Or they'll use huge price reductions, and their salespeople will say something like, "This set was originally priced at $12,000, but now, at 50% off, you only have to pay $6,000. And then there's the add-ons. There's a difference between us and them. At Verlo, you're not met at the door by a high-pressured salesperson. You actually speak with the ones that build your mattress. We understand buying a new mattress can be confusing. Our knowledgeable comfort coaches will work with you to help you make an informed decision, whether or not you buy from us. That's the difference between us and them. Make sure you stop in this month at your local Verlo mattress and save money, so you can put it under your mattress, not in it. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $59,995 after Landmark discounts, rebates, and tax credits, saving you over $13,000. Did you know that when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, GAP is included for no charge and you get the full tax credit? Get these deals and more today at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
Landmark Chrysler Jeep has sizzling summer deals you don't want to miss. Drop the top on a 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Sahara with an MSRP of $64,580. Lease for only $548 a month with no money down, excluding fees and taxes. Did you know when you lease a vehicle from Landmark, your car is under warranty the whole time and you pay half the interest rate of a standard purchase? Find out more at Landmark Chrysler Jeep in Springfield.
You always do better.
If your computer is showing signs of slowing down, bring it to BLH Computers. They've restored thousands of computers once thought destined for a replacement. Remember, if you bought it from BLH Computers, repairs are free, as in no charge for labor. In-stock replacement parts are free as well. Those are just some of the details of the exclusive BLH guarantee. So if it's taking you longer to get your computer work done, it could just be a small repair. Bring it to BLH Computers for a complete diagnosis. BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, Springfield, and online at blhcomputers.com.
Do you have the right amount of insurance coverage? If you only purchase the minimum required by law, a coverage gap can cause a big financial headache if you need to make a claim. That's why National Insurance Day on June 28th is the perfect opportunity to perform your annual insurance tune-up. If you want to shop around for the best insurance coverage, you can make a lot of phone calls, check a lot of websites, or simply get multiple bids all at once. Guaranteed Rates Insurance Marketplace is a convenient one-stop platform to compare and purchase home, auto, life, and other insurance policies from more than 50 top-rated carriers. This is another example of the way Guaranteed Rate provides innovative solutions to the big challenges consumers face. For a faster, easier, and more reliable way to buy insurance online and also speak with an agent, visit rate.com/insurance. That's rate.com/insurance.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
All right, final moments here. I've got comments on YouTube saying in Eagle Ridge you can rent a cabin or a hotel room and go golfing or fishing as well and visit downtown Galena for some shopping. Beautiful historic buildings. Come to Campsville, Illinois, Greg. It's beautiful down here. I'll have to check that out. Siloam Springs, beautiful park there. Emailer says, try Illinois Caverns for real spelunking. Hey, I'll have to put that all on my calendar. Also, just got a note, a reminder. We were talking yesterday about the 1-year anniversary of the Bruin decision about the Second Amendment, the 1-year anniversary of the decision overturning Roe v. Wade. But 5 years ago, the decision Janice v. AFSCME was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court, and that essentially says that public sector employees cannot be forced to pay union dues. The unions pushed back against that. So they didn't like the idea of that revenue stream being cut off, but people have said they don't like the union. They don't want to be associated with the politics of the union, and they feel that they can manage their own affairs without the union intervening and without them taking money out of their paycheck. So Janice v. AFSCME celebrating 5 years from the U.S. Supreme Court. Have a great day. It's 9 o'clock.
SPI Studios. Take the easy way out.